Hi folks, I'll make this one quick. All about sheathing, taping, and prepping for windows. Coming right up on another Behind the Build. All right, this is just a quick video to cover sheathing, air sealing, prepping for windows. As I mentioned on the last video, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. We have this long band joist 2x6 that creates a really great surface for gluing and nailing, and that just ends up anchoring these tall walls, which are subject to a lot of force when traveling. So it just really helps to stiffen them up, keep that shear strength really strong, and goes all the way up and meets at the top of that band rafter as well. Of course, this also gets every stud, every window frame, every place where the sheathing meets structure gets glue and nailed. You can also see in here, we put our blocking so that there's no loose edges of the OSB. We put it on the flat, just allows us to, we end up having to just kind of shave a little bit off of the insulation in there just so that fits nice and flush, but it just keeps a little less thermal bridging to be able to go right over those on the flat with insulation. Once the sheathing's on, Gina starts her taping. She is the master taper. And she usually, I think, starts with her horizontal line, which she can use our work platform for, and then drags the ladder from vertical line to vertical line. Once that's done, she moves on to windows. She preps all 4 edges of the window with regular zip tape, going near into the corner on the bottom, and just a best practice to protect those raw OSB edges, just in case any moisture. These are these are good windows that we're using in here, but there is a potential always for moisture to find its way in around windows. It's it's maybe the weakest point in the building envelope. So we want to make sure that just in case, we use best practices to protect these edges from moisture. She goes ahead and does every corner with zip stretch, just so there's no crease, no edge, no possible way for moisture to find its way in and get soaked up by the wood. And then at that point, we're ready to start popping windows in. Of course, caulk on 3 sides only. Bottom should be left not caulked and not taped. This happens, I've seen it on expensive custom homes. I've seen it on tiny houses. I've seen it on it's poor training for people who are putting windows in. They tape all 4 sides thinking that they're doing us all a favor. But if moisture ever gets into the window frame, it's meant to find its way out. And you back caulk or back dam the window frame on the inside so that any moisture that works its way in then has a way out. That's why we do not caulk and we do not tape the bottom edge. Look for it when you're driving around new neighborhoods, when you're looking at tiny houses. You'll be surprised how often you see that bottom edge taped, and it's a disaster waiting to happen. So caulk on 3 sides, pop the window in, make sure it's plumbed up, even in the space, and then Gina will be coming back and using zip tape on all 3 sides, not the bottom. We'll cover that in a later video, as in, all the mechanicals, the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC, and I'll just run you around with a tour just before our inspection, just before we put insulation in. See you then.